In Ashes of the Damned, we have a new demonic announcer, sorely needed after all of the years of the Forsaken as the announcer, which didn't exactly make that much sense, especially come Modern Warfare Zombies. But just who exactly is this new demonic announcer? What is their story, and how will this progress in future maps? All of that and more will be unveiled in today's video, as we even have some DLC 1 Astra Malorum teasers for the main threat. So hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below on your thoughts, and let's dive into the story of this fascinating new character.
Max ammo, double points, insta-kill. A hero, this is what they called you. But that's not true, is it? I envy you, mortal. Death is the only freedom here.
A weaver of the fabric of this place, from the memories it contains. I have always been here. I am a Shadowsmith.
Prior to the launch of the game, there was some confusion from fans about just who was the announcer of this game. By the time the beta released, we had already seen the Warden in the map's intro cutscene, and so the assumption was that he was going to be the announcer too, especially because you see him on the game over screen. Of which in past games this would be typically where you would hear the demonic announcer laugh and taunt you, such as Samantha Maxis back in the day. I'll play a clip of that now. In the map, however, the voice was quite different, closer to the Forsaken's growl than the Warden's southern drawl. But even then, it wasn't Zykov. We even speculated he could have been Mephistopheles. That was until the game launched. With the full release of Black Ops 7, we learned that the Warden was indeed not listed in the subtitles as the announcer, with it instead just being attributed to announcer. Not uncommon, but in the map itself, we would indeed learn more about who exactly this was. As we progress through the main quest, we free a mysterious dark ether entity from a tightly sealed prison. And I will have a video out soon covering just who that entity is. This entity informs us that the Warden has stolen a part of the character's souls, their vital essence, and through this, he has power, dominion over them. However, Requiem and our new original 4 aren't the only ones to have been ensnared by the Warden. The Warden, in service to his shadowy motivations we still have yet to learn of, has acquired the aid of incredibly powerful beings of the Dark Ether. These are not simply immortals that, to a human, may be seen as a god, such as Syraxis, Cortifex, Bellicar, and the rest. No, these beings are far older. In fact, they have always been, apparently. Which has crazy implications because we haven't really ever heard such verbiage or similar verbiage used in a while. It's only really been alluded to with, for example, the Construct always watching over the Dark Ether and its inhabitants, or even the Keepers being described as Monty as always being there, much like our good selves in the Ether. These beings who have always been here in the Dark Ether are apparently known as the Shadowsmiths. Characters first teased at the ending of Modern Warfare Zombies, and responsible for pulling Ava Jansen through the mirror, with the Warden interestingly appearing just before. These beings do not aid the Warden willingly, mind you, but have been ensnared by him too. We can't be certain exactly how the Warden has managed to enslave these ancient beings, but seemingly through a different power than him taking the essence of the characters. Because, as we learn from the entity in the main quest, our job is to restore the Shadowsmiths by defeating them, and thereby removing the Warden's bonds. Regardless, much like the player characters, the Shadowsmiths would find it physically impossible to fight the Warden due to his control in the exact same way that our characters would. This is where we come to the demonic announcer of the map, Veytharion. But before I jump into that, with Black Ops 7 recently releasing, I'm sure you need all of the help in unlocking camos and levels, and that's where the perfect service I have to share with you comes in. Stay tuned. Real talk, I was drowning in FOMO watching my squad flex Arclight, Singularity, etc. camos and high prestige ranks in Black Ops 7 whilst I was stuck grinding like it was my second job. Between my personal life, hobbies, and long hours scripting and editing content, I almost have 0 hours to spare. Not enough time time for repeating the same camo challenges over and over, getting smashed in sweaty lobbies full of cheaters and toxic teammates, or the tediousness of zombies grinding. Sessions get stressful, not fun, or just plain out boring, and I was burning out hard, ready to quit the game I actually love in moderation. Then I discovered Skycoach.gg, and it flipped everything. They have a team of legit pro players who hop on your account while you're offline and handle the grind for you, level you up fast, unlocking all of the insane camos for all 4 modes, prestige boosts, whatever you need. It's legit. It's like hiring a pro to do your gaming homework so you can jump straight into the good stuff without the frustration or falling behind on seasonal rewards. They've already helped over 200,000 gamers, and it's 100% safe with 24/7 customer service support. Now I'm fully caught up, no more sidekick vibes, I'm right there with the crew, flexing and having fun. If you are tired of the grind, burnout, or feeling left out, go to skycoach.gg right now, use the promo code TGR10 for 10% off your first order. That's TGR10, shown right there on screen. Links in the description. Click it, level up, and get back to enjoying Black Ops 7. Let's go, and a huge thank you to them for sponsoring this video. I hope it helps you out a ton like it has done for myself. Diving back in, Veytharion, a Shadowsmith of ancient origin, he, as with the rest of his kind, have existed seemingly forever, and have unparalleled abilities in the manipulation of the Dark Ether realm. He himself explains that he considers himself a weaver of its fabric, and that the metaphorical threads of this fabric are memories. This is a revelation in of itself, as we have long speculated about the Dark Ether's relation to memories, though, as I've mentioned in recent videos, this seems to have been a plot point that was dropped in favour of a more generic, occult ideas of demons as we saw in Vanguard. I always thought this was a shame, as the idea of memories and dreams are far more in line with some of the cosmic horror themes that became iconic in the Ether storyline, especially in fan favourites like Shadows of Evil, and so to see it abandoned in favour of something a lot more standard was a shame. Aside from, I guess, Ava Jansen's hallucinations in Modern Warfare Zombies. I received some comments in recent videos with people unaware of these ideas, so I'll briefly cover them now. But if this is something you think deserves a full video, leave a comment below. Let's jump into this intel.
I have seen many things in my travels. For all its horror, there is beauty in this deep, dark ether. The crystals, they take our memories. They make us forget who we were. But our memories do not fade. They are taken from us and form something new, something magical. Orbs. I have seen many in my time here. So many memories. So many stories to tell. Memories of a Russian scientist, of an American spy. There is one orb. It is different. Special. It is like me. It can cross between worlds. It is filled with the laughter of a child. I may never learn who the child is or what happened to them, but their memories are powerful.
In isolation, this was interesting in of itself, but adding to the fact that the orbs are stated elsewhere in Cold War to be made up of primordial Ethereum, we suddenly have an incredibly interesting picture. Primordial Ethereum is almost certainly related, if not the same thing as Prima Materia. Therefore, these ether orbs we sometimes encounter are made of protomatter, the literal building blocks of the Dark Ether and everything else for that matter, and that protomatter is made from, you guessed it, memories. If we keep in mind the idea of the Dark Ether being literally made of memories, then suddenly we get a true grasp on just how powerful the Shadowsmiths are. If they are beings that weave memories in order to control the Dark Ether, like a master tailor pulling one thread to change the entire shape of a garment, then what they are actually doing is controlling a vast structure of Prima Materia, shaping it to their will, and doing so through the use of memory. Which begs the question, could they even be responsible for the essential artifacts, considering it allows humans to wield the same power? But not only this, Trek have given us one additional revelation on this topic of memories, souls, essence, and the Dark Ether. The true name of whatever this thing, this force is, Spiritus. I'll play the quote now.
What's this? I can taste your fear. feasted on your spiritus.
Veytharion, in the Dempsey side quest, refers to sensing Dempsey's trauma that he relives in the side quest, when the Shadowsmith had absorbed Dempsey's spiritus. This is simply the Latin word for breath. However, it is a term steeped in religious history. The word spirit, today in English, is associated almost entirely with ghosts and the like, but the word is actually the root of the word to respire, to breathe. We hear this in the iconic song I Live from Black Ops 3's campaign and Shadows of Evil. Meaning, I live, therefore I breathe. I live, I breathe, I exist. What's the point here? In religions all across the world, spirit and breath were always the exact same thing. In the Bible, as just one example, humans become conscious because God breathes life into them. The word breathe and spirit are interchangeable. For our new storyline, this means to have to wonder just what breathed the soul into humans. We always assumed it was entirely a concept from the ether, with souls just being ethereal energy. But the idea always felt a little half-baked. Now, thanks to Veytharion's insight, it seems like Treyarch might have taken the time to develop just what a soul is a little more. Think about it. In the Ether storyline, Monty taking the souls of our characters ensures they cannot fight against him. And another side effect is that their memories start to bleed between worlds and become confused. Now, we see our characters lose their spiritus, and as a result, they have also lost their memories. With any luck, Treyarch will keep developing this. So then, back to Veytharion. In the map, both through the Dempsey side quest and through the boss fight, we can get the sense that everything he is doing is under duress. He genuinely does not want to be harming us, but based on his quotes, he seems like he's just as genuine in his hopelessness. In the boss fight, he claims that he envies us as we will die, something he cannot do. That doesn't sound like something that being happy in his duty would say. In fact, if we just consider what the Dempsey side quest actually is, he goes out of his way to compliment Dempsey's resilience at the end of it, saying that while he knows Dempsey isn't proud of his past, it's what makes him a survivor. Dempsey of course retorts in his usual way, saying he doesn't need a demon to tell him what he already knows. But at this point, Dempsey isn't aware of just who he is talking to. In spite of Veytharion's attacks against the characters, his true nature shines through, one that earnestly wants to free them from the Warden's control, and in exchange be freed himself. So why then is it that freeing them allows for the character's essence to be restored? Well, as we've mentioned already, they are under control of the Warden. We actually see the same white eyes as the Warden has, and similar to that of our characters on Veytharion, marking them all out as having been touched by the Warden's influence. By defeating them, it somehow allows for the Warden's control, perhaps briefly, to be broken, which in turn allows them to escape from where they are held. As we discussed, Veytharion clearly doesn't want to be doing what he is doing. He just views the Warden's power as invincible. If it can defeat him, perhaps he believes nothing can stand against it. This is only headcanon, but I suspect that by us mortals defeating him, it snaps him out of the despair long enough for his true power to be accessed, allowing him to break free of the bonds placed by the Warden, and he returns to his calmer demeanour, in a sitting position with neutral hand gestures like that of a monk. As to why Dempsey and Maya, the characters' souls who first get restored on this map, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, Dempsey makes sense given the Dempsey side quest and the fact that the entity, Veytharion, interacted with him, but I'm not so sure. And it begs the question, in the future DLCs, will they always be 2 souls getting rescued, or will some maps be 1, some 3? We'll have to see how it all plays out. As the Dark Ether is memory, and he weaves that memory, he can give that which was taken back to Maya and Dempsey, as if it was his and his fellow Shadowsmiths' power that the Warden misappropriated in the first place to steal the souls. But again, why he chooses to give their souls back and not the rest is uncertain. Again, it makes total sense with Dempsey, especially considering the fact that Dempsey's origins are from Liberty Falls, and of course part of the map is Liberty Falls with the Janus Towers. Dempsey also knows of the Vandons in his quotes, which could imply that Vandon Farm might have even been from Liberty Falls. But as far as we're aware, I don't know if there's any location on the map that is pulled from anything to do with Maya's history. Anyways, Veytharion leaves in the ending cutscene, but claims we will see him again when fate demands. After we load back into the map, the demonic announcer has changed since he is gone, and a new one takes his place. I'll play now. This is a fantastic bit of continuity from Treyarch, the kind that hasn't really been present since Black Ops 3, where loading back into the map after the main quest was forced. There we had such great moments like the restored Morgue City, the destroyed Earth in Eisendrach, the blood vials appearing on the characters in Setsubo no Shima, and so on. Monty speaking to the characters after the Gorod Krovi quest, and so on. Here they resurrect this trend. The new demonic announcer is a totally different voice, female, and sounds crazed. There is no possible way to mistake one for the other, and so it is definitely a different character. Moreover, it's also clearly not the entity. It seems incredibly likely that, as a result of killing Veytharion, the Shadowsmith responsible for governing this section of the Dark Ether, the next most powerful, has subsumed that territory into her own, and that she is the next enslaved Shadowsmith we will have to free in Astra Malorum DLC 1. What a great way to tease the map. Perhaps she will similarly be polite and cordial in her true form, but I'm considering that Treyarch may endeavour to make each Shadowsmith as different as our original 4 characters, and so we may be in for a surprise. We could be getting good ones, we could be getting bad ones. I would like to get a mixture of different personality types and emotions, and also motivations for why they've even been enslaved by the Shadowsmith. Maybe some are willingly helping and haven't just been enslaved. If Veytharion also teased returning at some point in the future, it does have me wondering if we defeat them all throughout the DLC, at the end they all come together and maybe help us in a boss fight against the Warden. That would be absolutely epic, or even against the entity if she turns out to be bad all along. Perhaps this is looking too deep into it, but I am inclined to wonder. It does seem a little too convenient that the Warden just happens to be looking away long enough to allow us to free a Shadowsmith, one of his most important assets. We don't even know what the Warden wants yet, let alone what the Shadowsmith wants, and yet we are willingly just accepting that he let us free one. If it's truly the case that the Shadowsmiths have dominion over Spiritus, the very building blocks of everything it seems, then we have to ask just how on earth did the Warden, someone who is increasingly appearing to have once been a mortal man, best them? This might not be an uncommon thing either. After all, Zykov may well have done the same. But then we need to ask the same question. How can they be this powerful if they are so easily defeated? Adding more fuel to this conspiracy, the Shadowsmiths' eyes are still marking them as influenced by the Warden, as they don't change. Mayu and Dempsey are totally restored to their old selves, so shouldn't we expect Veytharion to be as well? They no longer have the white eyes. It really seems to me that we are simply trading one immortal overlord for 4. They may want different things, but they are all cut from the same cloth ultimately. The cloth that is the Dark Ether. All very, very interesting prospects for what Veytharion may pose in the future. Will he continue to be an ally, or will he turn back to threat? Or maybe somewhere more ambiguous in between. As to what the future Shadowsmiths are going to be like, I cannot wait. Veytharion is so different in his boss, mutated, corrupted form compared to his humanoid form, and I suspect that all of the Shadowsmiths are going to take absolutely, completely different forms, and we're going to fight some really crazy entities and out there. But what do you guys think? Do you like the idea of a new demonic announcer every map? That's crazy that Treyarch would go through so much effort to record all of the announcer quotes for potentially 6 different maps if it is to be believed that there's going to be 5 DLCs according to the rumors. Maybe the Warden will be the announcer right at the end, or maybe if the entity ends up being evil, she could even be the announcer on the final map or penultimate map. What do you think about the tease of changing the announcer after the main quest? It has me wondering how they will tease it in future maps, considering we will expect it. Will they actually give us more direct lines and maybe speak to us similar to Monty speaking to us after the Gorod Krovi quest, so that it's not just the same repetitive tease every single map with just a different voice switch? Maybe we're actually going to see some interactions in the future after said quest, teasing the next map. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Plenty more to come. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye. To conclude this video, I want to shout out the fact that I finally decided to make a Patreon and Cameo account, both of which will be linked below if you want to help support the channel. On Patreon, you can sign up for the lowest tier of just $1.50 a month to get exclusive access for my Discord, where we can discuss zombies lore, trivia, or whatever you desire. A place where you lot, my community, can better connect. Your names will also appear at the end of videos thanking you. For $5.50 a month, you get all of that, and I will be doing exclusive exclusive monthly Q&As. And for $16.50 a month, you again get all of that, and I will be doing exclusive lore videos, such as unpacking niche parts of the Treyarch documents I've been breaking down on my channel that don't as much suit a main channel video. For the highest tier, only for those with the ability to and who really want to help out the channel, you get special bonuses I've yet to determine and verbal shoutouts at the end of every video. Over on Cameo, I can do funny videos reading lines from zombies, memes like how do we tell him, birthday wishes for friends or family, or whatever else you desire, practically anything. Of course, none of this is necessary, just watching and enjoying the videos helps me immensely and I greatly appreciate it. However, I think it's about time I start setting up additional revenue streams because Zombies' popularity is tumultuous and always goes through ups and downs. As I'm sure you've lately seen on the channel, viewership is down a lot. We go through big highs when new games release, but then during these drought periods, I need more income stability so I don't have to worry as much about it and I can focus more on improving the quality of the content. My highest quality videos are not always the ones that best please YouTube algorithms. So instead, this way I can produce my best work knowing I don't have to think as much about how well the content's going to perform. So if you'd like to support me on Patreon for exclusive content or would like a simple Cameo message, you can do so to further support me via the links below, but only if you can afford it and you actually want to help me. Don't feel like you are forced to, don't worry, I'll survive. It would just help relieve some of the pressure during inconsistent periods on the channel so I don't have to solely rely on AdSense revenue and still maintain the sheer quantity and quality of content that I put out. Obviously I pump out literally a boatload of content and some of these are absolutely crazy projects over hour-long videos, so it's a lot on my plate, especially when these videos don't perform particularly well. And I've not been doing many sponsorships lately to help supplement revenue either, so it would greatly help. Thank you for any generous person once again who does kindly support the channel. It means the absolute world and will really help keep this boat afloat.